Life doesn't always go our way, and you're right, life doesn't always go the way we plan. But here's the kicker. It's not about life going exactly as planned. It's about your attitude and approach to whatever life throws your way. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to breeze through life, turning every challenge into an opportunity, while others struggle with even the smallest setbacks? What's the difference between these two types of people? I'll tell you, it's their mindset. The people who seem to have it all figured out aren't necessarily luckier or more talented than the rest of us. They've simply mastered the art of acting as if everything always works out for them. And today I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Now, let's break this down. What does it mean to act as if? It means adopting the mindset, the behaviors, and the attitudes of someone who believes that no matter what happens, it will ultimately work out in their favor. It's about approaching life with unwavering optimism and unshakable confidence. But here's the important part. This isn't about blind optimism or burying your head in the sand when things get tough. No, this is about intelligent optimism. It's about looking at every situation, good or bad, and asking yourself, how can this work out for me? What's the opportunity here? You see, when you start to act as if everything always works out for you, you begin to see possibilities where others see problems. You start to find solutions where others find excuses. And most importantly, you start to create the very reality you're acting out. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in a job you don't particularly enjoy. Most people in this situation would complain, become disengaged, and eventually either quit or worse, stay and become bitter. But someone who acts as if everything always works out for them, they'd approach it differently. They'd say, okay, I'm in this job for a reason. What can I learn here? How can I use this experience to grow? What skills can I develop that will serve me in my future dream job? They'd give it their all, seek out opportunities to shine, and use the experience as a stepping stone to something greater. And you know what happens when you approach life this way? Opportunities start to present themselves. People start to notice your positive attitude and your willingness to go above and beyond. Doors begin to open that you never even knew existed. This, my friends, is the power of acting as if everything always works out for you. It's not about waiting for life to hand you what you want on a silver platter. It's about creating the mindset and taking the actions that make success inevitable. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, but Jim, what about when things really go wrong? What about when life throws you a curveball that you just can't see any good in? Well, let me tell you, those are the moments when this mindset is most crucial. When life knocks you down, and trust me, it will, the act as if mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and saying, all right, this didn't go as planned, but how can I use this setback to set myself up for an even greater comeback? You see, success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to failure. The most successful people in the world have faced enormous setbacks. But what sets them apart is their ability to view these setbacks as setups for future success. Take Thomas Edison, for example. When he was working on inventing the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. Can you imagine that? Over 1,000 failed attempts. But do you know what he said about those failures? He said, I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. That, my friends, is the epitome of acting as if everything always works out for you. Edison didn't see 1,000 failures. He saw 1,000 lessons, 1,000 steps closer to his goal. And ultimately, it did work out for him, didn't it? We're not sitting here in the dark, are we? Now, let's talk about how you can start implementing this mindset in your own life. The first step is to become aware of your current thought patterns. How do you typically react when things don't go your way? Do you immediately jump to worst-case scenarios? Do you blame others or circumstances? Or do you look for the silver lining? Awareness is the first step to change. Once you become aware of your thought patterns, you can start to consciously shift them. And that's where the act as if part comes in. Start small. The next time something doesn't go as planned, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, if I were someone who believed everything always works out for me, how would I view this situation? What would I do next? This simple shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of feeling stressed or disappointed, you might start to feel curious or even excited about the potential hidden opportunity in the situation. Now, I want to be clear about something. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean you'll never feel negative emotions. You're human, after all. You'll still feel disappointed, frustrated, or sad at times. The difference is you won't let these emotions define your actions or your outlook. Instead, you'll acknowledge these feelings, process them, and then choose to act from a place of optimism and possibility. It's about emotional intelligence, recognizing your feelings but not being controlled by them. This mindset also doesn't mean you'll become passive, waiting for good things to fall into your lap. Quite the opposite, actually. When you truly believe that everything will work out for you, you become more proactive. You take more calculated risks, you pursue opportunities with greater enthusiasm, and you persist in the face of obstacles because you know that somehow, some way, it will all work out in your favor. Let's talk about persistence for a moment. Persistence is a crucial component of the act as if mindset. When you believe that everything always works out for you, giving up simply isn't an option. You understand that success often comes just after the point where most people would quit. Think about it this way. Imagine you're digging for gold. You've been digging for days, weeks, maybe even months. You're tired, you're discouraged, and you're starting to think maybe there isn't any gold after all. Most people would give up at this point. But someone with the act as if mindset, they'd keep digging. They'd think, if I've come this far without finding gold, I must be closer than ever. The next shovel of dirt could be the one that reveals the treasure. And you know what? More often than not, they'd be right. Success is often just around the corner from where most people give up. By acting as if everything always works out for you, develop the persistence to keep going when others would quit. Now let's address another important aspect of this mindset, gratitude. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become more grateful. You start to appreciate not just the big wins, but also the small victories and even the lessons learned from setbacks. Gratitude is like a magnet for positivity. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you find to be grateful. It's a beautiful cycle that reinforces your belief that everything is working out in your favor. Start each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunrise. As you practice this habit, you'll find yourself naturally noticing more and more things to be grateful for throughout your day. This practice of gratitude ties directly into another crucial aspect of acting as if everything always works out for you, focusing on what you have rather than what you lack. Too often we get caught up in what we don't have, the job we wish we had, the car we can't afford, the relationship we dream of. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you shift your focus to what you do have. You see, success and happiness aren't about having everything you want. They're about wanting what you already have. When you appreciate what you have, you open yourself up to receiving more. It's like the universe says, oh, you're grateful for what you have? Here, have some more. This doesn't mean you stop striving for more or setting goals. It means you approach your goals from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of thinking, I need to achieve this goal to be happy, you think, I'm already happy, and achieving this goal will add even more joy to my life. Now, let's talk about how this mindset affects your relationships. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become the kind of person others want to be around. Your positivity becomes infectious. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and optimism. Think about it. Would you rather spend time with someone who's always complaining about how nothing ever goes their way? Or someone who approaches life with enthusiasm and sees opportunity in every situation? The answer is obvious, isn't it? By adopting this mindset, you'll find your relationships improving across the board. You'll be more patient with others because you trust that any conflicts or misunderstandings will ultimately work out. You'll be more supportive of others' dreams and goals because you know that their success doesn't diminish your own. There's plenty of success to go around. You'll also find that you attract more positive people into your life. Like attracts like, after all, as you radiate positivity and optimism, you'll naturally draw in others who share that outlook. Your network will begin to fill with people who support your growth, challenge you to be better, and celebrate your successes. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but isn't it a bit selfish to always think about how things can work out for me? And that's a fair question. But here's the thing, when you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not just benefiting yourself. You're benefiting everyone around you. Think about it this way, when you're operating from a place of positivity and abundance, you have more to give to others. You have more energy, more enthusiasm, more resources to share. You're in a better position to lift others up, to contribute to your community, to make a positive impact on the world. It's like what they tell you on airplanes, put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. By adopting this mindset, you're putting on your own oxygen mask. You're ensuring that you're in the best possible position to help others. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that prevents people from acting as if everything always works out for them. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of looking foolish. These fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in our comfort zones. But here's the thing about fear. It's often based on imagining worst-case scenarios that rarely come to pass. When you act as if everything always works out for you, flip the script on fear. Instead of imagining the worst, you imagine the best. This doesn't mean you become reckless or ignore potential risks. It means you approach risks intelligently, weighing the potential benefits against the potential downsides. And even when you do decide to take a risk, you do so with the confidence that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to make it work out in your favor. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway, trusting that you have the resilience and resourcefulness to handle whatever comes your way. Now, let's talk about failure. In our society, failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you start to see failure differently. You see it as feedback, as a stepping stone to success, as a necessary part of the learning process. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall down countless times. But do we call those falls failures? Of course not. We celebrate each attempt knowing that each fall is bringing them closer to success. Why should it be any different for us as adults? When you embrace this mindset, you become more willing to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone, to take calculated risks, because you know that even if things don't go as planned, you'll find a way to turn it into a positive experience. This leads me to another crucial point, flexibility. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean rigidly sticking to one path or one definition of success. It means being flexible, being willing to adjust your course as needed. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what's best for us. Sometimes life has even better plans for us than we could have imagined for ourselves. By staying flexible and open to possibilities, you allow yourself to recognize and seize opportunities that you might have otherwise missed. It's like the old saying goes, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans when you act as if everything always works out for you. You're able to roll with the punches, to adapt to changing circumstances, to find the silver lining in unexpected situations. Now let's talk about responsibility. This mindset of acting as if everything always works out for you goes hand in hand with taking full responsibility for your life. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control your response. Too often people play the blame game. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, the economy, their boss, their spouse, anyone and anything but themselves. But here's the truth, as long as you're blaming others, you're giving away your power. You're saying, my life is in someone else's hands. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you take back that power. You say, no matter what happens, I have the ability to respond in a way that serves me. This is incredibly empowering. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. This doesn't mean you blame yourself when things go wrong. It means you take responsibility for finding solutions, for learning from challenges, for making the best of every situation. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. Let's talk about goal setting for a moment. When you act as if everything always works out for you, your approach to setting and achieving goals changes. Instead of setting goals from a place of lack, I need to achieve this to be happy, you set goals from a place of growth and excitement. You set bigger goals because you're not afraid of failure. You pursue your dreams with more enthusiasm because you trust that the journey will be rewarding regardless of the outcome. And paradoxically, by not being so attached to the outcome, you often achieve your goals more easily. This mindset also allows you to enjoy the journey more. Too often we get so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the path that's taking us there. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, find joy in the process, in the growth, in the lessons learned along the way. Now, I want to address something important. This mindset isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect all the time. It's about approaching problems with a solution-oriented mindset. It's about asking better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me, you ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? Instead of asking, what if I fail, you ask, what if I succeed? What's the best that can happen? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally start asking better questions. And better questions lead to better answers, which lead to better actions, which lead to better results. Let's talk about the role of imagination in this mindset. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge when you act as if everything always works out for you. You're essentially using your imagination to create a better reality for yourself. You're imagining a world where opportunities abound, where challenges are just disguised blessings, where every experience is a chance to learn and grow. And here's the amazing thing, your brain doesn't really know the difference between what you vividly imagine and what's real. By consistently imagining positive outcomes, you're training your brain to look for and create those outcomes in your real life. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. Athletes use it to improve their performance. Business leaders use it to achieve their goals. And you can use it too, to reinforce this mindset of acting as if everything always works out for you. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and vividly imagine your ideal life. See yourself confidently handling challenges, joyfully pursuing your goals, gratefully appreciating all the good in your life. The more real you can make this in your mind, the more you'll find yourself naturally acting this way in your daily life. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, Jim, but what about when truly terrible things happen? What about loss, tragedy, serious illness? And that's a valid question. Life does sometimes throw us curveballs that seem impossible to spin into something positive. But here's the thing, acting as if everything always works out for you isn't about denying the pain or difficulty of these situations. It's about maintaining hope and looking for growth opportunities even in the darkest times. It's about saying, this is incredibly hard and I wouldn't have chosen this. But since it's happening, how can I use it to become stronger, more compassionate, more appreciative of life? It's about trusting that even if you can't see it now, there's a lesson or a gift hidden in this experience. Some of the most inspiring people in history are those who have faced incredible adversity and used it as fuel for personal growth and to help others. They didn't choose their circumstances, but they chose their response to those circumstances. Remember, acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean everything will always be easy or pleasant. It means trusting that you have the strength and resilience to weather any storm, and that you'll come out the other side stronger and wiser. Let's talk about the concept of reframing. Reframing is a powerful tool in the arsenal of someone who acts as if everything always works out for them. It's about changing the way you look at a situation to find a more empowering perspective. For example, instead of seeing a job loss as a disaster, you might reframe it as an opportunity to pursue a career you're truly passionate about. Instead of seeing a relationship breakup as a failure, you might reframe it as a chance to grow and prepare yourself for an even better relationship in the future. Reframing doesn't change the facts of a situation, but it changes your emotional response to those facts. And when you change your emotional response, you change the actions you take, which ultimately changes your results. This ties into another important aspect of this mindset, emotional intelligence. When you act as if everything always works out for you, become more aware of your emotions and more skilled at managing them. You learn to use your emotions as information rather than letting them control you. For instance, if you feel frustrated, instead of lashing out or giving up, you might ask yourself, what's this frustration telling me? What needs to change? How can I use this energy constructively? By doing this, you turn potentially negative emotions into fuel for positive change. Now, let's talk about the power of words. The language you use, both in your internal dialogue and in your conversations with others, plays a huge role in shaping your reality. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally start to use more positive, empowering language. Instead of saying, I have to, you say, I get to. Instead of, this is a problem, you say, this is a challenge. Instead of, I can't, you say, how can I? These might seem like small changes, but they have a big impact on your mindset and your actions. Pay attention to your words. Are they aligned with someone who believes everything always works out for them? If not, consciously choose to shift your language. You'll be amazed at how this simple change can transform your outlook and your results. Let's discuss the concept of abundance versus scarcity. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're operating from a mindset of abundance. You believe there's enough success, enough opportunities, enough good things to go around for everyone. This is in stark contrast to a scarcity mindset where people believe there's not enough to go around, leading to competition, jealousy, and fear. An abundance mindset allows you to celebrate others' successes, knowing that their win doesn't diminish your own opportunities. It allows you to be generous, knowing that what you give will come back to you multiplied. Operating from abundance also allows you to take more calculated risks. When you believe there's always more where that came from, you're not paralyzed by the fear of losing what you have. You're willing to invest in yourself, to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone. Now let's talk about the role of action in this mindset. Acting as if everything always works out for you isn't about sitting back and waiting for good things to happen. It's about taking inspired action, confident that your efforts will pay off. When you truly believe that everything will work out for you, you become more proactive. You don't wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. You go out and create them. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You make the moment perfect by your attitude and your actions. This mindset gives you the courage to take the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. It gives you the perseverance to keep going when the path gets tough. It gives you the flexibility to adjust your course as needed, always trusting that you're moving in the right direction. Let's address the concept of personal growth. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become committed to continuous self-improvement. You see, every experience is a chance to learn, to grow, to become a better version of yourself. This mindset turns you into a lifelong learner. You become curious about everything. Every person you meet has something to teach you. Every book has wisdom to offer. Every challenge has a lesson hidden within it. You're always asking, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? And here's the beautiful thing. As you grow, your capacity to handle life's challenges grows too. What once seemed like insurmountable obstacles become mere stepping stones on your path to success. You become more resilient, more adaptable, more resourceful. Now, let's talk about the impact of this mindset on your decision making. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You're not paralyzed by what ifs because you trust that no matter what you choose, you'll find a way to make it work out. This doesn't mean you become reckless or ignore potential consequences. It means you weigh your options carefully, make the best decision you can with the information you have, and then commit to making that decision work out for you. You also become more willing to trust your intuition. Often our gut feelings are right, but we ignore them because we're afraid of making the wrong choice. When you believe everything will work out for you, you're more willing to listen to and act on that inner wisdom. Let's discuss the concept of energy. Everything in the universe is energy, including our thoughts and emotions. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're vibrating at a higher energy frequency. You're radiating positivity, confidence, and optimism. And here's the thing about energy, it's contagious. People can feel your energy when you walk into a room. When you're operating from this high energy state, you naturally attract more positive people, experiences, and opportunities into your life. This ties into the law of attraction like attracts like. By consistently maintaining this positive energy, you're sending a powerful message to the universe about what you want to attract into your life. Now, let's talk about resilience. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become more resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, to keep going in the face of adversity. This mindset builds resilience because it reframes setbacks as temporary and surmountable. Instead of being knocked down by challenges, you see them as opportunities to prove your strength and adaptability. You develop a "this too shall pass" attitude that helps you weather any storm. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And when you approach life with the belief that everything will work out for you, you're constantly flexing and strengthening that resilience muscle. Let's address the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a psychological phenomenon where our expectations about a situation influence our behavior in a way that causes those expectations to come true. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're essentially creating a positive self-fulfilling prophecy. By expecting positive outcomes, you unconsciously behave in ways that make those outcomes more likely. You're more confident, more open to opportunities, more persistent in the face of obstacles. And these behaviors increase your chances of success, thus fulfilling your expectation that everything will work out. Now, let's talk about the impact of this mindset on your physical health. Our minds and bodies are intimately connected. When you consistently maintain a positive outlook, believing that everything will work out for you, it can have profound effects on your physical well-being. Stress is a major contributor to many health problems, but when you trust that everything will work out, you naturally experience less stress. You're more relaxed, more at peace, even in challenging situations. This can lead to lower blood pressure, better sleep, a stronger immune system, and overall better health. Moreover, this mindset can motivate you to take better care of your health. When you believe that everything works out for you, you're more likely to see healthy habits as opportunities rather than chores. Exercise becomes a chance to strengthen your body, healthy eating becomes a way to fuel your success, and rest becomes a valuable tool for recharging your batteries. Let's discuss the concept of synchronicity. Carl Jung defines synchronicity as meaningful coincidences, events that seem to be connected but can't be explained by conventional mechanisms of causality. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become more attuned to these synchronicities in your life. You start to notice how things seem to fall into place at just the right time. You meet the right person, come across the right opportunity, or have an insight at exactly the moment you need it. It's as if the universe is conspiring to help you succeed. Now, skeptics might say this is just confirmation bias, that you're simply noticing the coincidences that confirm your belief while ignoring those that don't. And there might be some truth to that. But here's the thing, even if it is just a matter of perception, isn't it more empowering and enjoyable to go through life noticing all the ways things are working out for you? Let's talk about the concept of flow. Flow is a state of mind where you're fully immersed in what you're doing, feeling energized focus and enjoyment in the process of the activity. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're more likely to experience this state of flow. Why? Because you're not held back by doubt or fear. You're fully engaged in the present moment, trusting in your abilities and in the positive outcome of your efforts. This allows you to lose yourself in the task at hand, leading to higher levels of productivity and satisfaction. Now, let's address the impact of this mindset on your creativity. When you believe that everything always works out for you, you become more creative in your problem solving. You're not limited by conventional thinking or held back by the fear of failure. Instead, you're willing to think outside the box, to try new approaches, to see connections that others might miss. Your creativity flourishes because you trust that even if an idea doesn't work out as planned, something valuable will come from the attempt. Let's talk about the concept of personal power. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're claiming your personal power. You're saying, I have the ability to shape my life, to influence my circumstances, to create my own reality. This is incredibly empowering. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you feel like the author of your own life story. You recognize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you always have control over your response. And in that response lies your power. Now, let's discuss the impact of this mindset on your relationships. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you bring a positive energy to your interactions with others. You're more patient, more understanding, more willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or allow others to take advantage of you. It means you approach relationships with an attitude of abundance and goodwill. You're not operating from a place of fear or scarcity, so you're able to be more generous, more supportive, more authentic in your connections with others. Let's talk about the concept of momentum. In physics, momentum is the product of mass and velocity. In life, it's much the same. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you start to build positive momentum in your life. Each small success, each challenge overcome, each positive attitude maintained in the face of adversity, these all contribute to your forward motion. And as you gain momentum, it becomes easier to keep moving forward, to overcome obstacles, to achieve your goals. Now, let's address the impact of this mindset on your career. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become the kind of employee or entrepreneur that others want to work with and do business with. You're solution-oriented, resilient, and positive, all qualities that are highly valued in the workplace. You're also more likely to take calculated risks, to pursue opportunities, to step up for challenges. This proactive attitude can lead to faster career advancement and greater success in your business ventures. Let's talk about the concept of authenticity. Some people might worry that acting as if everything always works out for you means putting on a false front or denying reality. But that's not what this mindset is about at all. In fact, it's about being more authentic, not less. When you truly embrace this mindset, it becomes a genuine part of who you are. You're not pretending that everything is perfect all the time. You're simply choosing to approach life with optimism and trust, even when things are difficult. This is a deeply authentic way to live, as it aligns your actions with your highest beliefs about what's possible for your life. Now, let's discuss the impact of this mindset on your spiritual life, whatever that means for you. Whether you're religious, spiritual, but not religious, or neither, this mindset can deepen your connection to something greater than yourself. For some, it might strengthen their faith in a higher power. For others, it might foster a greater sense of connection to the universe or to humanity as a whole. For still others, it might simply cultivate a deeper appreciation for the mysteries and wonders of life. Let's talk about the concept of legacy. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not just impacting your own life, you're setting an example for others. You're showing those around you what's possible when you approach life with optimism and resilience. Think about the impact you could have on your children, your friends, your colleagues. By embodying this mindset, you're leaving a legacy of positivity and possibility that can ripple out far beyond your immediate circle. Now, let's address how this mindset can help you navigate uncertain times. We live in a world that's constantly changing, and that change seems to be happening at an ever-increasing pace. This can be unsettling, even frightening at times. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you're better equipped to handle uncertainty. Instead of fearing change, you embrace it as an opportunity for growth and new possibilities. You trust that whatever comes, you'll find a way to make it work in your favor. Let's talk about the concept of presence. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become more present in your daily life. You're not constantly worrying about the future or regretting the past. You're engaged in the here and now, trusting that this moment is exactly where you need to be. This presence allows you to fully appreciate the good things in your life. It allows you to be more effective in your work, more connected in your relationships, more aware of the beauty and opportunities that surround you. Now let's discuss how this mindset can help you overcome limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs about ourselves and the world that hold us back. Beliefs like I'm not good enough, successes for other people, or life is a struggle. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're directly challenging these limiting beliefs. You're saying, actually, I am good enough. Success is for me too. Life can be joyful and abundant as you accumulate evidence to support these new beliefs. The old limiting beliefs naturally fall away. Let's talk about the concept of personal responsibility. This mindset of acting as if everything always works out for you goes hand in hand with taking full responsibility for your life. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control your response. This isn't about blame, it's about empowerment. When you take responsibility, you're saying, I have the power to shape my life, regardless of my circumstances. This is incredibly liberating, as it puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. Now, let's address how this mindset can help you handle criticism and rejection. When you act as if everything always works out for you, don't take criticism or rejection personally. Instead, you see them as feedback, as opportunities to learn and grow. If someone criticizes your work, instead of getting defensive, you might think, how can I use this feedback to improve if you face rejection? Instead of getting discouraged, you might think, this just means I'm one step closer to finding the right opportunity. Let's talk about the concept of self-love. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're practicing a profound form of self-love. You're saying to yourself, I trust you. I believe in you. I know you can handle whatever life throws your way. This self-love isn't narcissistic or selfish. It's a healthy, grounded confidence in your own capabilities. And from this place of self-love, you're better able to love and support others. Now let's discuss how this mindset can help you make better decisions.